Hello, welcome to Of Darkness and Light. This is Daphne Garrido. I write as Ophelia Everfall, and I have crafted the first chapter of Last Rites of Empire, and it is up on my website, daphnegarrido.com. And I want to invite you to read it if you haven't. Um, and if you're following me, I appreciate you. I am still definitely in desperate need of help, and I'm excited to take back my web space, to not be pleading for someone to help me get help. I need a helper who is willing to um, meet me at my level and walk me through a process of um, getting help the way I need without questioning me, um, and someone with the resources and capabilities to do so. And that's what I need, because I know what I need. So if you're following me, please know that that's something that I would love anyone to see to, is finding some kind of um, helper who could reach out, who is a truly um, pleasant person towards trans people, because that's really the key, and someone who can listen and respect my non-denominational spiritual religious beliefs. So, because that's the problem of me getting help as a schizophrenic woman who is rejecting the Western psychological solutions that don't solution, that mask and limit and twist people into less than they are, so they can be tools that break them. And if you don't, you're cast out. And so I invite you to read this chapter that I wrote after kind of fighting through executive dysfunction to craft emails to humanitarian organizations and to find some kind of reflection on my process and journey and the rightness of my situation by just reflection of an intelligence compiling my work together in a form that even I could acknowledge was a more healthy delivery of what I've been trying to scream at the world. And just knowing that if I leave that up in time, someone will help and see. But also, I am in desperate need of financial support just to get by to next month until this new plan of action can be seen to by someone who's able to help me move through my executive dysfunction, which seriously, permanently, at the time being, has limited me from getting help. Um, uh, it's just what it is. My ordering and um, categorizing and like working within boundaries of um, forms and phone calls and appointment setting and planning is just outside of my purview. And my family has abandoned me, and I'm fighting for my child back because she's been taken from me by my ex, because they can't understand how I need care or find willingness to provide it to me through any extended medium other than the same old references to get help myself that everyone else provides me. And so I'm stuck, literally, and people around me think I'm being stubborn. But it's schizophrenic executive dysfunction that is just undiagnosed, and I need to get it diagnosed. And so that's what I need, is somebody to be kind and come here, give me a hug, hear what I have to say, help me how they can, get me set up with an appointment, get that appointment. I need somebody to go with me to the appointment and to be my ally there and to help me get diagnosed, and someone to stay in contact with in a reasonable way, because all of my contacts have fell off as I became openly schizophrenic, and people are just afraid of me, and schizophrenic people need friends, and I need communication in a way that's steady and with somebody who can genuinely help me the way I need help. And it's impossible without family, um, or connection to some social work organization. But I will not go into a trans peer support group, because that is the most stressful idea I could ever see to is walking into a public place to sit in some kind of group thing to, I don't know, I can't do it. I need to go to an appointment with a psychiatrist. I need to skip all of that. I know exactly what I need. I need somebody to help me, a human person to help me, because I don't do well with group spaces. I don't do well with taking public transit or driving right now. So this is my story, and I'm going to put my GoFundMe up top, and then I'm going to put a link to this chapter. And if you're listening, I appreciate you. Um, this is my favorite thing yet. Every time I get really excited about writing something, it's my favorite thing I've ever written. And my goal is to write the best thing ever written. And I strive towards that. Hydraloom is sweet. So Hydraloom is the country, continent, land of Gloria, the queen of regions most sovereign to her land, the queen to be. She clearly owns claim to it all, but Hydraloom definitely implies that there's going to be a real Hydra, dude. It's going to be sick. Because what's going on here is we have a schizophrenic person written in very close, omniscient third person, very inflected on their character, um, a unreliable narrator for sure, but one that is aimed to be able to be seen through um, pretty much consistently. Like that's my goal with this unreliable narration is, in most of it when I write it, is for it to be apparent in what is off so you can trust the things you need to trust. Um, but it definitely opens that gate of what could be true, which is also fun. And so I do play with that sometimes. So you have to watch yourself. Titus grip would twirl her blade deeper, gashing that fool open. They'd seen something there together through time. He was already dead. He'd been gone, but the spirit remained around. That boy he'd been was rooting Gloria on from beyond. That fool she slayed was floating, becoming, evolving into a cloud of code which would presume some function of her guardianship within. So this is cool because it's a land of eternal darkness for some time, unclaimed in specificity. But there is a sun, but this moon has become the sun. The sun is just ever absent. And it's really in her character, who is obviously a method executive dysfunction dump for me, and kind of confirming something cool just from my like body DNA. Like that's the thing, is like you screw me if you don't like my language, but I believe I speak from my body because my mind has been so open through schizophrenia, and that's why I'm like layered with executive dysfunction, is because I have trouble pointing my thoughts in a very specific direction unless it's highly creative. And so I get really focused on English because I can write it in layers and I can layer in tense, and I can make it very artful to my mind how I put it together. And so that's what I did with this, is I kind of got back to the more literary aimed mindsets. I had written a couple things that were more sparse and screenplay like, which I love doing. But this is helping me ground back into what I really feel like I need to do right now, which is find some outlet for my executive dysfunction that fits. And so this is perfect because it's just a great way for me to reclaim space of the executive dysfunction, which has seen me to present in a more overtly masculine way out of response to my right to do so and still be a woman. Um, but by just kind of like, because that's the big beef, right, of being a trans woman, is you're expected to present in ways where it's like, yo, uh, cis women can be as scummy as they want and they're girls, dude. But like, I got to get all super pretty to get recognized at all. Fuck that, dude. I got to get my voice all high. How many girls just like drop their voice when they don't give a fuck? Like how many? And it's just like owning womanhood based off of superficiality projected at trans women alone is the most hypocritical double standard bullshit that just drives me crazy, especially when it's also projected at me that um, I'm an imposter, that I'm a colonizer, when I'm being colonized out of womanhood space, when I'm being colonized out of space beside women. I had more space beside women pretending to be a man. And so this is really helping me ground into my body's intelligence, which is telling me that my DNA has history of lineage, it has lifetimes lived, layered on top of each other, that coming together make me a woman at birth. And that I have a lot of confusion in my personality and my presentation and my sexual representation, but I have a deep down bodily sexuality as well. And it's just twisted, and it's probably forever twisted. I know this because it's like I have a heterosexual. I don't know. I don't know. That's something I have to figure out. I'm still working it out. It's just like I think everybody's pansexual. I think everybody's pansexual in their bones. But we'll see. I don't know. I'm not going to speak for everybody. I'm going to speak for me. I think I'm pansexual. But the truth is, um, I have heterosexual coding. And so changing my presentation has changed my sexuality. But then I also have such trauma against male born bodies that I just nope. Just nope, dude. And it's just like, especially just like the presentation and the attitudes and um, the the misogyny and the trans misogyny coming from men. Um, it's really horrendous to even think about. Anytime I've turned a dating app to like checking out any men, it just feels like picking through the biggest garbage heap in the world. The men that reach out to me. Lately, that's not the case, and it's more just like, why am I doing this? Because it's like I don't want that kind of relationship because I still love women, and so I'm a complicated, twisted trans woman. And there's so many trans women like me that are um, like lesbian of heart but pansexual of libido and a longing for that place of being seen the woman by somebody that they really love, a anybody on the spectrum, um, and yeah, and so I'm trying to build an openness of understanding towards the attraction of trans women towards anybody on that spectrum, and it not being a um, disaffirming thing to anybody, because it's like it works that way. It's complicated. It doesn't mean that I don't see trans men as men when they use that language and when they own that space. I don't see non-binary people as anything but what they tell me they are. It works that way for everyone. But then also, I'm always writing from my own dysfunction. And I have a need to push people into a space of manhood towards my womanhood out of some kind of like binary coding of my lifetimes. And it makes me want a man of spirit in the kind of form that I'm truly attracted to and that I love, which is a woman of body. And the language gets all twisted. And so I push away anybody who's like, wait, I'm not a woman of body. You know what I mean? It's like if it's a trans man would not feel affirmed in that language. But at the same time, I am highly attracted to trans men. And if the smell's right, that's the truth though, dude. But that's the thing. It's like, um, this Gloria is really going to make a run on Empire, and it's really going to be twisted the whole time from her perspective. She's really becoming queen. I'm calling that shot. And that's really going to happen. It's like the unreliable narration is not going to be wrong about her taking power and being a badass warrior who's murdering kids, like for not kids. I'm just like, she's using boy language because any kind of like children that are in the story are going to be very, very isolated from any violence or sexuality, because they're going to be taken very, very serious by this psychopath Gloria, who is a executive dysfunction monster, that has gone too far and is fighting everything. And so that's a reflection of me. I love everybody, and I love lots of things about the world, but nobody loves me back, not in action, that is acceptable. I haven't found someone to sit on the couch and watch shows with me or play games or just like accept a friendship that is close with me, not only since becoming schizophrenic, which is like just an impossibility now. I'm just the loneliest, saddest person in the world. But since becoming a trans woman, nobody would accept a close friendship with me. It was all distant, secondhand, second class kind of friendships available to a trans woman with anyone. Um, the only relationships I could find that would open to me via dating were um, polyamorous people that were just trying to use me. And so it was quick out on all of those because it's like, hey, I could be open to that if I'm not like your backup, don't really give a shit. Just like what people do when they said they wanted to be friends with benefits is like, hey, I want to use you and then not even be your friend. And then people who were exploring like real relationship, they just um, didn't have the edge, or they um, didn't have any leg up on trans misogyny, or they were abusers. So, or there were three people I dated before I mean, one person before I became really schizophrenic, one person right as I was becoming schizophrenic, and one person well after, that were all on the trans masculine spectrum of sorts. And I've just forever twisted them all into like boy. And so that's what I have put into Gloria here, is a fierce, I'm gonna boy the whole world and murder all men and take after um, killing the adults that stand by. Because that's the thing, is I'm asking for help from people all over that I can't imagine don't want to help, but I'm asking for them to share my fundraiser with people who might be able to, because I know they all have parents that have money. But that's the thing, is like nobody can convince their parents to help a trans woman, because everybody's parents will think that a trans woman is just a crazy person, so they don't even ask, I don't think, or they do and then they don't get help. And so I am just like tossed out by people that should be helping me out of allegiance to their evil ass parents. So it's just like that's what happens everywhere, is like there's no help because everybody of my age is not of money, and there's nobody willing to fight their parents to get them to understand that this is something worth helping somebody survive. And that's my understanding of some of the people I've been asking for help from, or to just help me in another way that's easier. That's just like, I don't know, come help me. Um, but money would help a lot. And I'm not wrong to ask for it, because I've been backed into the tightest corner ever, and I'm going to maybe lose my house, which I was going to have a garden in this spring that was like the best thing to my heart ever. And I wrote a poem about it, and it means a lot to me, and I hope you read it. Um, An encampment ahead was despicables all. They were men. They think themselves warriors of rightness. Each was a slave to some master of horror. Every lost dove within their ranks of design was liar, the largest, that most becoming of their people's ideology and false living. They thought themselves right about everything by force of weakest mind. I made liar the singular name for the despicables, which is despicables are what she refers to every single other countryman of her enemies, because they will never be named. And liar is the name, the first individualized name within that class. Yeah, other than boys and men and man boys, and then of course there's the drudges, and they're just things. They're clearly the cisgendered women that this person hates the most. I'm calling them cisgendered women because I'm basing this off of my own dysfunction. And the cisgendered women I hate the most are the ones that rear the and protect like the molesting older class of men from any kind of um, reflection, and are just like, silence before, let us die in peace. And I'm just like, those people are my absolute enemy, because those are the people that those who should be helping me right now are not, because of, for whatever reason. And it's just like, yo, kill your parents then. I don't care. I'll kill your parents ideologically, and maybe you'll read, and then you'll do it yourself by asking them to help an angel who's dying out here who needs help. If that's the issue, I'm always fighting issues I don't know because nobody talks to me, man, except for a few people that don't have the means to help. So um, I love how she's got blade and knife. Those are the name. Blade was her lady. Arrows were for cowards, dude. Um, Shield was her woman. Um, Bluish blood of flesh-shrouded vein was made to red before crusting upon her grassy banks of earth. Gloria was glorious, gregarious, glorifying, gestating gestures grown gloomy, granting grifts, graciously grooming groomers gone, gay, grateful, and generous of spirit. She liked making boys bleed most. This one drew out. All my stuff has layers of sexual innuendo that just come straight from my subconscious, and I've just learned to let it go. And so that's a part of why I refer to myself as like Shakespearean, is because there's a sexual innuendo layer, there's a meta psychological layer to me, there are many intents to work the language into things that are challenging but rewarding when you get the little grift of. And I'm making up words, and it's really, really hot. And it's combining all types of storytelling from our era into a kind of fiction that I think feels fresh, and it's poetic. It's got rhyming in it, and alliteration, and it's pretty cool. It's pretty hot. I would love if somebody would help me to survive so I could keep doing this. Like, that's what I can't believe, is nobody will help a writer person who writes stuff like this. But that's the thing. I can just use this fuel of nobody helping me to continue writing this thing that's evil as shit. And then hopefully somebody will help me soon. And I can start making Gloria get some nicer moments in their journey, right? I would love that. I would love that. She would be the sweetest character ever to reach some kind of like healing reconciliation, to find another who she could grant the honor of womanhood upon. That would be hilariously great, and that would be great for me. And I don't mean it that way for real. I'm playing up the way that I've done this in my fiction before, because Miriam is a, a boyer of everyone, and so are most of my characters. Echo has had her times doing that, somewhat, but it's really kind of like Miriam in the narration around Echo, except for a few times. I think there's the boy frog line in Time Throws Fire, when it's referring forward to Vicky Darkblood's alternate lifetime that she's feeling out. Um, I took notes for this that are hilarious because I just like kept the name of every little thing that I made up. Um, I love that I'm using the italic inner dialogue so sparsely, and little boys shoot like trash dogs is a pretty good one. Um, but yeah, I'm really going to enjoy this because I can use that to cut in ways that are challenging. That I couldn't give less of a shit is supposed to read like, wow, this person cares a lot behind their executive dysfunction. The second part is supposed to be pure executive dysfunction display. The second section, and that I couldn't give less of a shit is supposed to be like the peak of that, where you're like, wow, yeah, this person cares a lot, and they're stuck behind murdering people because people took their kid away from them. And I don't even know if I said that yet, but um, I put in a kind of like delusional paranoid theory of I had once where it was like, and it's still, it's not the most paranoid because I was never super, I was like always kind of like having fun with it. I was never delusional about it. It was just like a playful space, a creative space. That's the thing. I have high creativity that is kind of delusional, but it's like if you don't really believe it ever, it's not really delusional. And that's what was happening. But I was like, hey, I really genuinely believe people can feel the future sometimes in their hearts, and that's not a big deal. And that belief stays with me because of experience. I've had kind of like psychic experience in groups where we're intending to flex that muscle to kind of like prove some esoteric connection true. So I'm like, and I believe that there's also truth of the fabric of time in our DNA. And so we've got all of that at play. I'm not sure what's what, but there's some part in me that kind of feels like I know I can feel the future. And there's another part of me that thinks, hey, if you become highly aware of that and you become able to feel out, then can you make actions and participate, like, and like anticipate changes, and then like create genuine ripples in fate that wouldn't be changeable if you didn't step out of the paradigms of control of like not understanding what we're a part of. And that is something that is hot, dude. It's hot. But I think it's just a hilarious schizophrenic take on breaking down what every single person is doing with every moment of their life, which is like we're in a fabric that we're working, we're weaving our fabric. And so there's stuff we can't change, but we're changing everything. The butterfly effect is real, and we're doing it every single day, and we're messing things up. And I'm messing things up, but I'm trying to make things right as well. And that's what I've always tried to be like. I set my intentions to walk around in this world and make it more towards nature, more towards the goddess. And then you know what happened? I got I became schizophrenic, getting fucked up on Blue Lotus, and then abused by somebody because I laughed at them for trying to manipulate me, and then thrown out by society because I became um, highly schizophrenic and full of executive dysfunction by the cruelty I faced as a trans woman, and I can't help but lash out and genuinely need for somebody to help me be taken care of, and I can't live in a group home or I just freak out, and it would be the worst time of my life. And I deserve rest already. I've been tortured already for too long, and I need people to see that and help me. And so I hope you listen to this, and I hope you read it. Never did Gloria shirk from a fight, not once. And so I'm going to figure it out. If I wake up 2 days from now and I haven't got a donation, I'm going to sell my car, which is going to make things really hard, but it's going to put things down I mean, I need to do that anyway here soon, but like, it's not enough to get me by more than just an extra month. And then I'm going to have to like fight for everything. So, but right now I need that car or everything's going to get really expensive. And I don't have the way to plan for meals. I need somebody to like order me a meal service or something. So, um, thank you for listening. Don't mess with the tree at gmail.com is Daphne Garrido. And if you are following me and I have pestered you and it's bothered you, please don't do anything to harm my life by putting me away in a home or putting me in jail, or putting some kind of need to go to a courtroom upon me, because I can't, dude. I can't without a person being human to me first. I'm just going to puke my guts out if I have.
to deal with more legal paperwork before somebody comes and gives me a hug because they want to. Um, so, anyways, that's my story. I'm sticking to it. Neil is hilarious. That's just the funniest name to bestow upon somebody that's actually really sweet. And I just anticipate there will be actual closeted trans men that kind of like dig the idea of a trans mommy just buoying him hard and calling him Neil and being like, "Hey, Neil's actually a sweet name, dude." That's my idea. I like it, and it's fun because I take a Neil. And there's such a part of me that's just a closeted trans boy chaser, where I'm just like, let me break you into a man, dude. Like, come play video games with me. I'll teach you about boyhood. We can watch Heat together. I'll tell you about it. Anyways, that's my story. I'm sticking to it. Hydraloom is sweet. There's going to be a Hydra. Somebody help me. I love you all. Share, subscribe, like. I'm on Apple Podcasts now, of Darkness and Light with an and symbol. Share this crazy literature with people who might love literature. Read it yourself. Read it 2 times. Make me your wife. Come get butt rubs. Don't take me seriously. I'm really just a person who needs genuine help, and I'm going to continue being fun now because that helps me get through my executive dysfunction. And I'm going to stop worrying about people not getting my satire because clearly my family has been drawn away from ever helping me because of my transgressive nature. They're just puritanical Christians who are scared of a trans woman that's more Jesus than they could ever imagine. Because I know that Jesus is some phony baloney bullshit that just is of myth, is of truth, is of what you can be when you become yourself. And that's what everybody can be. And I'm sorry if that triggers people that I think I'm angelic because I have conquered schizophrenia from the inside out and I'm standing up against the most inhumane situation anybody's ever faced without a person by their side, without a person understanding the weight of it, while the world cares about everything else. And I just sit here and be genocided silently and like shamed by society and backed into a corner of not being able to get helped because I have legal documents put against me by cis women and and police reports filed by cis women who have discarded, neglected, and abused me, and then called the police. A thing I would never do. A thing I would never do. I would never call the police. I would never work somebody into a courtroom. I would never do it once in my life because it's horrendous and it's against my heart and soul. And I feel like that's something that's just wrong to do, and especially to do against a trans woman who is so disdained, stained by America already. It's like, hey, guess what? I've just turned the whole system against you. I've just turned the whole system against the thing it already wants to hate the most. You're welcome. Now go ahead and go away now. Go suicide yourself and like we blame trans women for because you gotta get because you're never gonna have a friend again because you're schizophrenic and nobody cares. That's a fun story. So I'm gonna keep writing Gloria until somebody grows the fuck up. Okay, have a good one.